Hey, Mark here, and I have a really fun giveaway for you. I have 5 Blu-ray copies of the SpongeBob movie, Search for SquarePants, up for grabs, and if you'd like to enter for a chance to win, just shoot me a message, Big Mark. I love SpongeBob. He's great. I love physical media. I'm a big fan of physical media, and SpongeBob. This is perfect, so yeah, just shoot me a message and let me know. Join SpongeBob and his Bikini Bottom friends on their biggest adventure yet. SpongeBob and Patrick dive into the deepest, darkest depths of the underworld, where no sponge has gone before. The SpongeBob movie, Search for SquarePants, is now available on DVD, Blu-ray, and digital.
Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me, Megan Hoffmeyer.
Sarah Newark, DJ Valentine, Billy Business, and Brendan Peters. This is Nani Boetes. This is Nathan Leahy. It's David Cross. It's Jake Lewitt. Norbert Morvan. It's Lisa Leahy. Joey Lewandowski. John Levingood. Professor Mike Dillon. Nick Riak. Niall Moore. Adam Youngblood Hutt. Erik Hoffmeyer. It's Johnny Nunn.
Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who was truly humbled when he tried to water ski. It's Erik Hoffmeyer.
I'm not built for it.
Nope.
Too tall. Too Swedish. We're not built for this. You know, I'm good on snow skis, but water skiing is a different animal.
You never see a Viking water ski. You know, like they can row boats on rivers and attack monasteries.
Yeah, they stay dry.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, they're covered in furs too. You'd sink, but yeah, you'll never see like a giant water ski. I'm sorry. There's some tall people who water ski. I get it, but not us, not our family.
Yeah, there's nothing more humbling than barely getting up and then having your tall frame hit the water harder, and then everyone in the boat just looking back at you. And for the love of God, why can't you do this?
Yeah,
you got limbs flailing everywhere.
I just became a tube expert. Put me in the tube. Unshakable.
Tubing's like the pickleball of water sports. It's so much more forgiving and it's more enjoyable because you have longer sessions.
And you know what's great too? The wipeouts are fun. Like if you're gonna get shook from so if you're sitting butt in a tube, like not with arms up front and you're kind of have your legs in the back. Remember in Minnesota, I got my shorts pulled off during a spirited tubing thing.
You're not a professional tuber unless your shorts get ripped off once or twice. There was one time where a rope hit you in the neck too, where my tube hit a wave and went kind of over your tube, and you got caught by
and it ripped me off. But that's what's great about tubing. If you're butt in first and you're sitting in the tube, when you wipe out, you're in it. Like you're hitting a wave and you're flying, or your brother's tube comes across and a rope rips you off the thing. But I never got hurt from any of it.
Most of the time it's the talking shit that gets you. Yeah. You're on there for a while. You're feeling really good about yourself. You're shifting left and right as you turn. Then you start taunting the driver, like, go faster.
Yeah, you bastard. But yeah, that's a great. But yeah. You can hit when you're like 5 feet in the air on an inner tube and you let go. There's nothing more thrilling. You feel like Superman for about 3 seconds before you cartwheel in the water and just wipe out.
Yeah, you hit the water a couple times.
And I don't think some people could like dive or be graceful when they fall. That's not in our DNA. You and I are gonna cartwheel or like just we're gonna belly flop so hard we don't even go under the water. It's just a.
Yeah, we had a cousin who would go with us in Minnesota on the lakes when our uncle would take us out, and she would go out one ski. I forgot what the name of the one. She even tried barefoot.
Oh, Sarah?
And we were just
She wasn't even trying.
Like, how did she do that? That's just she had the athletic gene in her that we did not. She was able to pick that up so easily.
She would just be like eating a sandwich, like one-handed, like wait
cappuccino.
She'd just be making cappuccinos.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was. But that's
further humbling.
No, you said that I do everything like a linebacker, Erik. So you can't ski like a linebacker, water ski like a linebacker.
You can tube like a linebacker.
Yeah, oh, better believe it.
We're talking about the great outdoors today, and there's a scene where John Candy is water skiing, and he says, "You bastards, you bastards!" And Dan Aykroyd was like, "I think he's saying go faster."
And all he had to do was let go of the rope, which he told his kid. Oh, what? Erik, we watched, I feel like this was kind of on rotation in our house. Like we didn't watch it all the time, but I distinctly remember the Bears' butt getting shot, the old 96er, like the raccoons. Like growing up, this movie has so many little bits that you remember. And even though it's kind of The Great Outdoors, released in 1988, written by John Hughes, directed by Howie Deutch, father of Zoe Deutch. It's just a bunch of bits, but it's very okay. Eric, I'm just going to say three things I like about this movie, and you and I have talked about this, so this isn't entirely original. One, there's no antagonist. Like, so Dan Aykroyd's the antagonist, but not really. Like, once he gets John Candy's money, and Annette Bening is kind of talking to him about it, he returns it. So he's a pain in the butt, but he's not an antagonist per se. I like that. Like, John Candy's family, they all like each other. They're a pretty tight family unit. And they're in the beginning, they're singing.
You don't see that in other movies. They're singing together in the car, and they're getting mad at each other for forgetting the lyrics, but they're still having a good time singing.
And like, when the oldest son wants to go on a date, they're totally fine with it. And the only reason he's late for a date is because he wants to be there for his dad eating his steak. Like, they're not saying no or being rude. Like, you got to see that through. Like, and then I think the third thing is, like, this movie, there's really no plot, and it's just a bunch of bits, which I have a theory that movies with just a bunch of bits are great for cable, because it doesn't matter. You're like, oh, what bit is this? Oh, it's the skiing bit. Oh, it's the bear bit. Oh, it's the old 96er bit. Oh, the dude's about to get hit by lightning bit. It's when Dan Aykroyd tells his kids about psycho killers in the woods bit. It's the goose bit, the pool hall bit. It's the just
the dead guy.
The dead guy bit. Like, there's so many bits. Like, it's the leeches bit. Like, you can just come in and out of a movie, and it's so bit heavy that it's never gonna be A tier. This movie's not A tier.
Oh, I love it, because the IMDb description for this movie is a Chicago man and his family go camping with his obnoxious brother-in-law.
Yeah.
It's so simple and perfect.
But he's obnoxious, but he still fits in with the family. He's like a cool uncle. Like, it's a weird.
It's important to have cool uncles. It's great. Yeah. The obnoxious uncle that just says whatever's on his mind. It's a cool uncle can give you things that your dad can't. It's like you could joke around or look at things differently. It's great.
You get speedboats and, like, just do all this, and although there's like a bat bit, there's a horse bit. Like, this movie.
It's a lot of animal bits.
I will say it's a lot better than Summer Rental, another movie where John Candy goes to the beach. He's a burnt out air traffic controller who goes to a beach house, and it's the wrong beach house, and they have to go to another one. But he gets like sunburn, and he steps on people, and it's just where they go. It's a public walkway through the beach, and just it's like everything that can go wrong to this guy does. But this movie's not. This movie's more like warm, and yeah, it's rewatchable because it's just a bit movie, which I like.
Yeah, we watched it with our kids on a family movie night, and they had a great time. That's how I judge a movie now. The kids thought it was hilarious. They really got into the bear scary story. They thought the bits were funny, and that's how I judge a movie now. Kind of through their eyes, which would have been kind of fun.
And also the DP, Rick Waite, he was born in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, where we lived, and he went into the Air Force, so he has a lot to.
I like this guy already.
But check out the movies he shot. It's the craziest thing. He did 48 Hours, which is like a comedy, action classic. Not action, like it's really popular movie. Eddie Murphy, Nick Nolte. He did Footloose, Red Dawn, Brewster's Millions, but then he did Summer Rental and Volunteers. But then he did Cobra, the Stallone movie. Then he did Adventures in Babysitting. Then he did Rambo 3.
He's all over the place.
Yeah, right? And then he did The Great Outdoors. But then get this run. He did Marked to Death, Out for Justice, the Steven Seagal movies. Then he did Rapid Fire with Brandon Lee. And then he shot On Deadly Ground with Steven Seagal. Like, this guy has some pretty, like, he worked with Walter Hill. This guy worked with some Carl Reiner. Like, this guy worked with some
small town Wisconsin guy makes it big.
Yeah. And so he's out there shooting some pretty cool movies. And he's from Wisconsin, Eric, or Sheboygan to be exact. So that made me happy.
I saw an article that says Sheboygan is like the Riviera of the Midwest or something like this, because they have beaches and forests and all kinds of waterfront
and surfing
activities. Yeah. I would surf the Great Lakes.
It was in a documentary called Step in a Liquid, where they had surfing, like a scene of it was people surfing in the beach that we used to go to in Sheboygan.
No way.
Yeah. But like, I guess lakes, but northern lakes are much different than southern lakes. Like, so down here we have like the Ozark Lakes where you just go get Schnockered, like you like, or Lake Lanier, which is just like a death trap. But I feel like northern lakes are more of a
Drinking on
thing.
drinking on a lake beach is a great day.
Yeah, that's like that's a song by one of those country bands where they also use like auto tune and hip hop. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh no, that was a SNL skit about Lake
oh
Beach.
yeah, Lake Beach. That was the exact song. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's yeah. And but like northern beaches are different, like the Dells and Minnesota. That's a different style of life. I
Mhm.
think it's a lot different than like the Ozark beaches of the South. So or like the Laniers. But yeah, I don't know. I think this movie does cap because we kind of went to some of these places, Eric, in Minnesota. We went to camps and did all
Yeah.
this. So I think
Shout out to Trout Lake Camp.
oh, Trout, oh,
What
that's
we
Trout.
caused so much mischief at Trout Lake.
Yep, that's where my shorts got pulled off on a thing. I always remember that. But I don't know. I think this movie sort of captures that trip, and uh, there's no antagonist, and there's a bear, but it gets shot in the butt.
I love it so much because it's just it love the concept of a family going on adventures together.
Yeah,
It's such a powerful theme. That combined with the whole running out of the time. Oh, the kids are growing up. We're not going to have this anymore. It's such a fleeting moment. And then the dads who put so much weight on it, they realize their mortality. They realize how fast the kids are going to grow up and be gone. And they want to have this magical experience together with a family. And for me, that hits home because it's like, don't blink with kids. You blink and they're 19. That's what it feels like. But that's such a powerful theme
yeah.
to
And you're
have
giving them your
in a
family
movie.
ring. You're giving them your family ring, you know, on a
Family
boat.
ring.
Yeah,
Oh,
remember when John Candy gives his kid his ring that his dad gave him
oh
in the boat?
yeah, a sentimental moment.
Yeah, and he's but like you know, I just I'm telling you, Eric, it's just so nice that the kids wanted to go and the wife wanted to go, and they got a pretty nice cabin, despite they say it's ratty, but it's pretty nice, Eric.
It's
Like that's a
rustic.
yeah, it's
It's not. Yeah.
rustic. And like I don't know, they were like we've been on pontoons, we've been on speedboats, like like he it's kind of nice that they're not super broke either. They're not like oh we can't we're getting to get the cheapest. It's not like a slobs versus I think the 80s were really popular for slobs versus snobs. And this one, it's like a firm, like in your words, a firmly middle class family, upper middle class family, and then they're like,
The
yuppie
yuppie
80s
theme.
yuppie
Yeah.
family. But that's like I like it. I like that it's not like trailer parks versus mansions. This is a guy who, I did the math about how much he makes. He clears like 120 a year at least.
And it's relatable because we all have friends that make more than us. And
Yeah.
so there's this natural human tendency to compare yourself or the jealousy. But something I thought was funny about how the family got along, the pastor of my church always says, and we're in Miami where there's a lot of wealth. He's like, man, sometimes the wealthier someone is, the more issues under the surface. So it's kind of funny, like the happiness. The he was wealthy in his family, liking each other and having a good time, and it made that point pretty well as one of the underlying themes without being too preachy about it.
And also too, though, I think he can be happy because he probably has a good job and his wife probably has a good job. So like they seem comfortable in life. They're not driving around Mercedes. They can be comfortable in their life and happy because they're doing okay. If that makes like it's not like a broke family.
Well, you ever see those studies where, let's say you're firmly middle class, and then up to a certain point, it doesn't really change your lifestyle. Like if you're at a certain level and you make 20,000 more, that means a lot. But anymore, it really doesn't change the level of happiness with wealth too. This is pretty interesting studies to check out.
Oh no, I haven't looked in, but Candy's so amiable in this.
Yeah.
Like he's totally happy.
And
Like he,
and the thing, well, that's perfect because he and Aykroyd were opposites. That was it must have been a fun movie to write. We're gonna write a movie about two polar opposites. For example, even the music that was playing when they were driving to the camp was incredibly different. They
oh
had the
yeah.
folksy singing with Aykroyd, and then the weird industrial techno type music when the yuppie family was driving in. Or I think they kicked it off right away where they're sitting on the porch and they're looking across over the lake. And Dan Aykroyd was talking about how he sees mining, logging,
Yes.
industrial waste dumps, all this opportunity. And Candy says he just sees trees. Or the pontoon versus the jet boat. One wants to chill and hang out with his family. The other one wants to go over the top. It's just such a fun writing device to write two characters that are polar opposites.
but I also like that they're polar opposites, but they could exist, both of them. Like they're not.
Oh man, yeah.
Like no one's. He's trying to get money from him, but that's such a minor plot point in this movie. It's like the
Hmm.
last 15 minutes. But I don't know. Like, so yes, Dan Aykroyd's a pain in the butt, but there's scenes with the family where he's just hanging out with them, having a good time. Like I like that. There's a
The
weird,
horse,
like
the
they're
horse riding one.
yeah, and they're all annoyed with each other, but also they've been together enough to like be comfortable around their uncle, and he can exist with them. So it's a and also I guess it makes more sense for him to be so like that because he's broke and he's sort of making up the story about how life, like, so he's probably overcompensating because this guy's happy with his life, so he's probably projecting onto him some things. So we're putting a lot more to this movie, but
And I think it's deep. What you said, there was a scene where Aykroyd was on the phone and getting ready. I think he was trimming his nose
yeah,
hairs in the mirror scene. And he goes to his wife and he's like, why is it that Chet's kids look at him like he's Zeus and my kids hate me? And then the wife says something along like, well, maybe if you spent less time at work and more time with the family. And then he says, zip it. Like I'm on a call. So it's like she calls him out right then and there, and he's oblivious to it.
because well, at this point he's just trying to work, right? He's working on the floor, but he got banned because of, so he's doing something there, but yeah, he's not making a lot of money. And yeah, zip it. I love that. And she even calls him out. It's like, Annette Bening in the movie, she's pretty chill. She I think she's kind of oblivious because he just doesn't tell her the truth, but her and her sister are pretty comfortable together. You know what I mean? Like they're happy. Like they don't really argue until the end, but then they're cool again. So it's just an odd, this is an odd movie because I don't know, I do. I like movies where they're not, what's cool? They're not trying to win a year-end regatta race like on One Crazy Summer or Summer Rental. Like they're not like, I need to beat the rich people in a boat race.
Or like
Or
heavyweights, where the fat kids versus the athletic kids on the
yeah,
other side of the lake at the end
exactly.
of the summer.
There's no end of the film, and Better Off Dead, there's a ski race at the end. Well, even though that
Mm.
movie's absurd, I just like that the fam, and and they don't, we talk about road trip movies where I think the whole thing about road trip movies, you got to make these stops and meet these weird people,
Hmm.
and you meet weird people along the way, and then I think that kind of wrecks the momentum because you're going, then you stop, and you're going, and you stop. This movie, you're just at the campground and they're just going to different places, so there's really no momentum to be halted here because they're just at a camp,
Yeah,
a
the
wooded
opening
camp.
scene was them driving. There was
Yeah.
no backstory whatsoever. They just got right into the outdoors.
If it's not like they're trying to go somewhere, they're just there and then they're engaging in shenanigans. So there's not even an issue with pacing in this movie either because it's just bits. And
Yeah,
I don't know if that's the best screenwriting. I think if you're going to write a movie, the characters are good in this. And I mean, Hughes has a lot of popular characters, but this movie is a lot of bits, like, which I don't know if is the best screenwriting. They're like, okay, this scene, Candy and his son go to bears, and then the bear climbs on top. This scene, they go here, and and there's leeches. So I don't know if it's the strongest like screenplay or execution, but I think it still comes together really well. Like there's an
I had some
interesting
thoughts.
synthesis to it. Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, if my one criticism, if I had, I think there's over reliance on animals in this movie.
So
I mean, there was a dog bed at the beginning with the dog barking. They had bears, leeches, a bat in the house. The raccoons were funny. That was a funny
yeah.
reoccurring comedy element throughout the movie. What am I missing? There's a fish in the drain. There was a scene where they went horseback riding. It was a lot of animals, and I was thinking about
The bears,
why animals. And I think there's
the bat.
you have that level of unpredictability with animals. I think it's a good opportunity for physical humor or slapstick in there. There's also, I think it's a story about a well-adjusted family, so you have to have drama from
Oh
somewhere. Like it's just like
yeah,
you
yeah,
need
yeah,
the
yeah.
drama isn't coming from within the family. They're all very well adjusted, so you have to bring it in. So they were able to have action that way through the different animals and the outdoors. The whole city slickers and the woods theme.
That's a really interesting. That's a really interesting screenwriting thing too, because if you think about most movies, there's always some drama. So if you don't have that drama, it's like,
You
well,
got to create it from
we
somewhere.
just need bits now. So then there's just nothing but bits because the families like each other and they have a unit. So it's and like That's interesting. You got to create the drama because the drama's not going to come from the core family.
Yeah, exactly. I like this movie the second time I watched it better than the first time because Aykroyd's line delivery is so fast, you don't catch all of his funny one-liners. And there are so many that I didn't catch the first go around. For example, when Candy said he wanted to have a boat, Aykroyd's like, "What the hell are you going to do with a pontoon boat? Retake Omaha Beach?" I mean, it's just there's so many funny things that he delivers about when he gets scared from the bear story and he says, "I'm 25 pounds overweight." Or the part with the bat and Annette Bening says, "It touched me." He's like, "It's been touching you for 10 years and you haven't minded." And then another aspect of his line delivery, he says so much that are basically fighting words. Like if someone talked to me the way he talked to John Candy, I would want to punch them in the face. Did you notice that? I mean, you have to have some kind of family bonds or understanding to let someone talk to you like that. Or you really have to have this deep understanding of their soul or whatnot, because you would not tolerate that from anyone else. Like some of the digs where nobody accused you of ever having an ambitious vision. I mean, that cuts to the core. Or you call them dangerously old-fashioned. Or when he walked back without the horse, Aykroyd asked, "What happened? Did you get hungry and eat the horse?" Some of those were vicious digs. And I didn't notice it at first, but Aykroyd, is anyone faster than him on the line delivery that you can think of?
No, he's got a motor mouth. Like you think about him in Evolution or other movies, like, all right, I got time to like he can deliver that motor mouth dialogue. So yeah, I think I don't know if there is anybody who's as fast as like when he was on with that fast dialogue. He could drop some lines. But you know what though? I think Candy's happy enough with himself as a human. And I think everyone knows who Chet is. Like, yeah, it's Uncle Chet, right? Yeah. So like everyone knows who he is. So Candy doesn't want to fight him. Like if this was,
he's not insecure.
No, Candy's not at all. Like, he's pretty happy with his life. So
he's so content. He's like, you can say whatever you want. You're not going to get to me.
And he's sitting in there with like his chair and a sweater. And like his wife's not even insulting. Like she's not like, "Oh, we don't make enough money." Like they do fine. So like, I think sometimes you can take that because first it's like if he was like a bro or like I don't know, like a something different and he was saying that stuff, then I think Candy would be pissed, but just Aykroyd. Aykroyd can deliver those lines without making you want to like murder him because you're just like, oh, this is who he is. Does that make sense? Like, there's people who can say stuff like that to each other, and we have some family members. I think if they said those lines to us, we'd probably want to fight them. We wouldn't do it, but like, our blood would go boiling.
Yeah. I would have a physical reaction at the minimum.
But we also have some friends that where if they said that to us, we would just be like, "Shut up." So I think it just depends on who. Is that like, and we also have some family members. I think if they said that to us, like, "Shut up." Like, so I think it depends on who it is and how comfortable they are. And
like if you feel bad for them, what they're at the core they're hurting or they're missing something in their lives.
Because this is another weird. Like they're comfortable. They have a decent car. It's such an odd movie in that there's very little drama in it, and I think that's what makes it so rewatchable.
Yeah, and while we're on talking about Aykroyd, I just thought it was amazing how great he was at being unlikable. Even his name was annoying. His name was Roman.
Yeah, Roman.
You had Uncle Chet, the good natured guy, and the Roman, the yuppie. And he actually smooched John Candy's wife on the lips.
Yeah.
John Candy was like, "Oh, why I ought." That's the one time you got a rise out of him.
Yeah, you don't mess with that. Giving Connie smooches.
Oh yeah, just there's one part where he was talking about how the fishing sucked at that lake and it was better where he was from. just that person, something's always better.
Yeah,
his other experiences are always better, and I know people like that too, where you tell a story and they have to one up you about how much better something else was that they experienced. It's
we should have done this. We should have done that. Just enjoy yourself.
Okay. You should see it back here where it's so much better.
Oh, this time
he was great.
I was on this lake in Italy.
Oh, you threw in the humble brag there about some world travel.
Oh man, I was in New Zealand and there was this really beautiful pond, and I pulled up just a giant bass. Cool. So what does that have to do with me starting a fire here in my cabin?
Thanks for sharing. Trying
Yeah.
to establish dominance here around the fire.
Yes, you just established dominance. Congrats.
I'm happy for you, buddy.
But yeah, I don't think Chet cares about that. His kids like him. His wife likes him. I
Hey,
keep saying it.
he's wealthy in terms of family.
Yeah, exactly. And he's probably not too deep in debt. Like, he's fine. And that is just such an odd plot. Like, let's send a totally happily family along, and then let's send his brother-in-law, who's kind of a punk, but like not the worst human being in the world. Like, does that like he's I guess it's hard for Dan Aykroyd to come off like in this character because he's just dropping some funny lines. But
And the final action sequence will be a bear's backside getting blown off. The hair.
and Aykroyd was fighting the bear though. Like, Aykroyd took the thing and was like trying to fight the bear. Like, so he's not a guy. And then he actually listens to John Candy and goes and saves his daughters. And
Yeah,
and
John Candy got squished.
twice.
He said uncle. He cried uncle.
When that bear is stomping on the door, that's one of the funniest visuals. Like, he would be dead, but I do love that visual of the bear smushing him under that door.
Oh, when that scene played out, my kids were all into it. They were screaming, jumping around. We had so much fun.
And then the bear gets shot in the butt, and then the raccoons talk about it.
That's such a great callback. There's a lot of good callbacks in this to the beginning. Even the shotgun that was used on the bear's backside was the lamp when they first checked in.
And you know what's interesting about the relationship subplot? So I know John Hughes movies, a lot gets shot and then a lot gets like they edit it way down. So Plane, Trains, and Automobiles, it's going to have like a director's cut coming up, I think, with a lot more footage. There's a lot of stuff left on the editing room floor. So like this relationship was probably cut down. But I think at the end they're both like, well, I got to go back. She's like, well, this was fun. Like, we had a good time. Like, they were both pretty level-headed about it. Like, but it's too serious for the movie to have that subplot. And that's probably the only drama in the movie. His dad's eating a giant steak and he can't go for a date because he said if he misses that date, she can never talk to him again. Like, that's like the only real manufactured drama, I think, in the movie. But then she's like, yeah, like I'm good. Like, we're good. I'll see you later. Like, it's a mature end to that one as well.
I had a couple thoughts on that. The first is, I think they have that in there in order to give something for everyone. Mm-hmm. You have the parent nostalgic time is running out theme, but then you also have something for the teenagers, a younger audience. And then at the end of it, you feel good walking out of the movie. You just feel refreshed. Like, the family had a good time. The teenage boy met this girl. You walk out feeling good. It's just but there's nostalgia. Like at Trout Lake Camp back in the day, I was 16 and I met this girl and we vowed to keep in touch and we wrote letters back and forth for like 6 months and then it petered off. But there's this nostalgia thing of when you're younger and you meet someone on vacation too. It's just yet another way that this movie finds a way to be relatable.
And I think a lot of people do find it relatable because it does have a 6.6 on IMDb. That's pretty high.
Yeah, 72% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes as well.
Yeah, so I think people dig this film. Like, I think they look, because I don't know, it's pretty inoffensive, I would say. I mean, I guess it's just very white, but I don't know if everyone can relate to this world, but I think most people can watch it and you can watch it with your kids, you can watch it with your friends. It's inoffensive for families. I think he does do you know what I love? Remember when he's trying to do the role playing with his wife, and then Dan Aykroyd's like, it's healthy for some couples. Like, I applaud you guys. Like, it keeps.
He was Bert and she was Shira.
Yeah, Shira.
Or something Sheila or something of the forest. He cracks his knuckles before he does the bra. The close up of him cracking his knuckles.
Yeah, he just like crack, and then he does that. But then I love that Aykroyd's like, yeah, it's good for couples. Like, I'm glad you guys are doing that. That's cool. Like,
as he's videotaping him.
Yeah. Oh man, and then like the goat cheese pizza. That's an interesting thing. But I also like. Did you notice? So the director's Howard Deutch, and they talk about Deutsch Marx and Sprechen Sie Deutsch. I wonder if that's a homage to him real quick. I'm just putting that away.
Right. Yeah. They worked it in there. I got a question for you. Why do you think critics hated it? Because it has a 42% Rotten Tomato score. I think one of the top critics said the raccoons were the funniest part of the movie.
I mean, it's just a bit movie. You know what I mean? If you're we watch this as kids. And so I think you and I enjoy the nostalgia of it. And I think it plays well to younger audiences. But if you're like a jaded 40-year-old and you go into a critic screening with like 8 other people and you watch it, you're probably, because it's not a cohesive movie by any means. Like
Right.
it's just bits, and the romance between the kids isn't necessary. It's just a funny
It's
little
real surface level.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think you're not going to enjoy it. Like, do I think that this movie this is going to be weird? Is it like a cohesive, good film? I don't know, but is it really enjoyable? Yes. So I think it is quite slapdash because it's just bits, but there's enough funny bits to make it work, and which is why it was a box office success. And like it was played on every single channel. You could play it during the summer because it's all about a trip. It did well on VHS, but I think the things that make it not a good movie also make it a very rewatchable movie. Because like Knight's Tale, right? I have watched that movie so many times. When that knight he finally gets caught for not being a knight, or no, he breaks up with Shan Sauceman for a little bit. That's done in 5 minutes. She's like, just lose. So he loses, and she's like, oh, okay, well, cool. When he gets outed as not being a knight, the king's like, you're a knight, you're cool. So like, there's no drama in it, and that didn't get too well reviewed. In Evolution, when he loses his lab, they're like, all right, let's get going. He's like, okay, cool, we'll go save the day. That didn't get the best reviews, but like it moves so fast. There's no drama to it, and I think the most watchable movies for me are the ones that are like that. Like I can't watch Clockwork Orange over and over, but I could watch Evolution over and over because the stakes are so chill and everyone's just kind of hanging out. Like I
So
think
if you're a studio head or a director, whatever you want to say, would you make a good movie? If you can make one movie, would you make a good movie, like a film type of movie, or a rewatchable flick? What would you do? What would make more money? Or you got to think about the economics of it, the long term breadth. Think about streaming. Would you go good or rewatchable?
I mean, everything gets lost in if I don't want to just make a good movie because everyone will forget about it immediately. If I'm going to make a movie, I want it to have a lot of personality. So we were like, in 1988, this movie Mac and Me came out. It's an absolutely absurd.
Well, that's the one that Paul Rudd plays on the Conan show.
Yeah, it's absolutely
clip.
insane.
Hey, to Google Paul Rudd, Mac and Me, Conan O'Brien show, and Paul Rudd has been tricking Conan for about 15 years. Whenever he comes on the show to show one of his clips, he just plays the same clip from Mac and Me
going off the cliff.
Yeah, the kid on the wheelchair going down the hill.
So this guy Stuart Raffle, he directed Mac and Me. He directed a movie called Tammy and T-Rex, where this producer had a T-Rex for 2 weeks. They're like, hey, let's make a movie here before we send it north so I can play these movies in my theaters in South America. So we got Denise Richards and Paul Walker. Paul Walker gets murdered. He gets his brain put in a fake dinosaur. And like it's called Tammy and the T-Rex. And he also made this movie, The Ice Pirates, which got its budget completely shot. So like every actor knew they were making crap. Like Mannequin 2, like his movies are not great, but he had to film them so fast with no budget that they have a lot of personality and they have big cult audiences around them. So I would rather make something that like people like or watch a lot. I don't. The most annoying thing I would ever do is just want to make a good movie. Just like, yeah, I made a good. Everyone's like, oh yeah, I saw that. That was good. Like I want to make a movie. You directed Tammy and the T-Rex. Yep. Like that's. So I would make a rewatchable movie. That's the long answer, but I would want to make at least something with a personality, not just good.
Okay.
And I have no interest in making like an art house film. That's just not me. Like I'd rather make a monster movie or something else. Like I'm not an auteur, Eric. I'd make a movie like a linebacker. So
okay. Yeah, it's something that could take repeated hits.
Exactly. I'll be like the Ray. Well, except for murder charges, I'll just I'll just be a linebacker. Like hits hard, reads. I read the QB well. I can make plays. That's what the movie is. So
sounds good. Well, hey, while I'm asking you questions, I got a few more for you. You ready for some rapid fire?
Let's do it.
Are you a pontoon guy or a jet boat suck my wake type of guy?
Pontoon. I don't like driving fast. I don't know, man. Like you don't enjoy yourself on a race boat, like on a fast boat. Like where's the enjoyment? I've had enough adrenaline highs, Eric. So I mean, I'm happy on a pontoon. You can just hang out. I don't know. I like hanging out. I like chatting with people. In a racing boat, you don't talk to people. You just go thump, thump, thump. Like if I'm trying to impress somebody to go to Cuba to get like a mojito, sure, I'll take a race boat like a Miami Vice. But if I'm on a lake, I'm pontooning it.
Okay. Gotcha. This movie has a lot of animal bits to include a dog, a fish in the drain, leeches, a bat, a horse, raccoons, and bears. Is that some kind of record? Is there another movie that has this high number of animal encounters?
Well, all right. So if we're looking at, let's compare it to other camp movies. So like Friday the 13th, there's never animals in those woods. If we're looking at Camp Nowhere, heavyweights, there's really,
Ernest Scared Stupid had a badger.
yeah,
Like, never do this to a badger.
it had turtles, but yeah, there's not a lot of animals. So if we're looking at wooded films, like even The Revenant just has that bear and some deer. So yes, I think if we're doing pound for pound, minute by minute, because this is a 90-minute movie, if we are just playing like the percentage game, then yes, it breaks the records.
Okay, great. So we love the telling of the scary story in the movie, and I was thinking how much fun it would be to be an actor on set to watch Candy do his thing. Because during that scene, they let the camera linger on him for long periods of time. So that was really an impressively long dialogue with that story. And I'm like, man, that was brilliant. And then are telling scary stories a thing in movies these days? When was the last movie you can think of where they told a scary story? I mean, it's probably some kind of in the horror genre.
Yeah, and most of that's just recapping stories anyway. Like, oh, have you heard about this story? Oh, well, it's mostly just used to explain the backstory of a character. Well, a long time ago, this character was like this. But I know there's a movie called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, but that's, yeah, I can't think of many other films with horror stories being told. They tried to do a little bit of what I Know What You Did Last Summer with the hook.
Maybe a montage or a backstory, or what is it called with the dialogue that explains a situation? Like someone's explaining something.
Oh yeah, like
Explanatory. Yeah.
expository dialogue.
Yeah,
that's where the ghost story comes in. So yeah, there's a couple movies that came out. Josh Rubin directed a movie where they're just telling each other scary stories, but that's like, I think it's called Tell Me Stories or something. No, I don't think there's too many more of these. But also, I mean, we don't have these kind of movies hitting the theaters anymore. Like, these are an extinct type of film. There's not too many like there's Christmas films, but I can't think of the last one like this. Like the last one was like Vacation Buddies, where like John Cena and that lady, and then they meet up with that couple and they cause a bunch of chaos. Like they don't really have these anymore. So
yeah, there's not a whole. There's Christmas Vacation had the cat and the squirrel.
oh yeah, that's true.
There's a few others. Oh, I watched RV with Robin Williams. I was watching a lot of different.
There's pandas in there, right? Or no, raccoons?
A raccoon in that
Yeah,
one. The raccoon gets in the RV. Yeah, that was actually. I thought RV was kind of underrated. It's on Netflix, and it's a fun watch. It's clean. It's fun, and a decent movie. If you want to get the same theme of running out of time, and nothing brings a family together like a good road trip.
The family in that though, they're kind of annoyed with him, right? Because he just spurred this on them, right?
Yeah, he lied to him. They were going to
Yeah.
go to Hawaii, but instead they did a road trip to Boulder so he can do a presentation for work.
Yeah, see, that's the unnecessary drama, because then he has to explain to all of them, and then they have to overcome some things. So I kind of like that. This there's no lie. Well, Aykroyd's lying, but that's that's like 15 minutes of the movie. So it's, but you watched a bunch of movies for this, Eric. Where would you say The Great Outdoors stands amongst them?
I'd say top.
It's better than Summer Rental. I think it's better than RV. It's better than the newest vacation movie.
Oh, the newest vacation movie was borderline unwatchable.
Yeah.
But that one went with the real negative humor of like people just being mean to each other. It wasn't even, but it had the wacky relatives too. It had the characters along the way. But yeah, the kids were mean to each other
Yeah.
in that one.
The kids like each other in this one.
Well, I watched Are We There Yet? Because I thought it was a family, but Ice Cube was just like the like a friend taking these kids on a road trip. It wasn't bad. I watched You're Cordially Invited, the wedding movie with Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon, where they both booked the same wedding venue out in the country. And I thought that was similar because they're very opposite. The crowds were very different. It was kind of cool to see the two very different crowds come together in one small confined location.
And there's an alligator.
You're right. He does fight an alligator in that. And he takes out the alligator.
What
You're
is it
right. I
about-
forgot about that.
Jim Carrey fights an alligator. Adam Sandler fights an alligator. Will Ferrell fights an alligator. It's like a rite of passage for comedians to fight alligators.
Yeah. My next question, actually, is my next one is we're talking about comedians fighting alligators, happy like in Happy Gilmore movie. But also, what other movies can you think of with comedy coming from animals? I'm thinking there's so many, like Anchorman with
Oh,
Baxter.
oh, Baxter, and then also the shark from the second one, which
Oh right,
Anchorman
you had
2 is not.
Mr. Jinx and Meet the Parents.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
you had the dog that swallowed the jewel in Snatch.
this one, but like they pay this off so well though with the bear. It, I can't think of too many other ones. That's a
I got Rimshot
rim
from Ernest
shot.
Scared Stupid.
That's more of like a, what's interesting though, we're talking about characters here, like MacGuffins you got to find. This one, they just come across them.
Yeah, you're
But
right.
the dolphin, they have to find in Ace Ventura. You got to find it. In
Hmm.
Snatch, they got to get to the dog because it's wild something. In Ernest, Rimshot's a character. So these, like the ones in this movie, they're just sort of. I think the most reoccurring bits are the raccoons, but they don't really talk to the end, right?
Yeah, they were probably the closest thing we had in the movie to a character, too, with one of the animals. The funniest animal joke I think I've seen was the horse moving out of the way in The Princess Bride.
Yeah.
When the lady jumped out, the horse is like, I don't want any part of this, and it
Oh,
moves out
oh,
of the way.
Robin Hood Men Tights, right? Is that in Princess Bride as well?
Princess Bride.
Oh, okay.
Or was
Robin
that
Hood Men.
Robin Hood Men in Tights? That
Yeah,
was Robin. I'm sorry, I got my old English movies mixed up.
yeah. The lady's what, like maid or whatever. I forget the name, but she goes to jump on the horse, and the horse moves, and she hits
Yeah,
the ground.
yeah, she was, a large person.
Yeah.
There was also Pirates of the Caribbean where the guy couldn't talk, so he taught his parrot to talk for
Oh,
him.
yeah. And there's a lot of monkey shenanigans in that one too.
Oh yeah. Why is that? What makes animals good characters in movies?
What makes animals good characters in movies? I mean, the '90s was loaded with animals. The pandas, the Dunstan checks in, the dogs, Homeward Bound. The what makes an what makes
Yeah. Is it the unpredictability? What makes it funny?
well, I think with pirates you already have the parrot, like Polly want a cracker, so you kind of have to have that.
Oh, so it's a play on existing.
Yeah, and then like the keys with the dog, that was in Pirates, and then I think the monkey. Do people have in Friends? He had a monkey character. I think it's just some shenanigans. Like I think it's,
Oh,
and then that one guy did a movie with a monkey where the monkey's a pitcher.
isn't when Ross got the monkey in Friends? Wasn't it when it jumped the shark? Was that the turning point in the franchise when he gets a monkey?
Yeah, they didn't he have that since from the beginning? But it's like
Oh,
why
dude.
why do we need this monkey? Like I think it helps to write with it. You have a storyline. The monkey could cause mischief too because it keeps stealing stuff, and then Captain Jack has to get it back from the monkey. And he's like, I hate that monkey. Like the monkey's his foil in that film because it's like yeah, I don't know. The monkey, yeah.
Yeah, it's just funny with animals doing human-esque behavior.
No, I
There's a
agree.
word for that where you attribute human traits to an animal.
Amorthropatize? Is that the
And
right?
anamorphism?
I don't know what the word is.
Yeah, I gotta Google it.
Yeah,
We're dancing around it though.
but uh, I think with these animals, it's just like you don't need the leeches. I don't even know why the fish were in there, but I mean, you're in the woods though. You're gonna come across, and like listen, they're just asking for bears. That's so 80s. Like, hey, let's put a candy bar on my car, and so these bears can come, which is a crazy stunt, dude. They put bears on top of cars and drove it. That's nuts that they did that in this movie.
I don't think
But
that would fly these days.
no, but I also like you said, the humor had to come from somewhere.
But it
So
was funny though that the son asked John Candy if it was illegal to drive with a bear on his hood. That's
no, no.
such a funny thing to ask a dad.
Yeah, but what's interesting too is he's such a chill dude, but then I feel like the bits set him back a little bit because he seems like a smart guy, but like why would you put candy bars on top of your hood and be like, oh, this went wrong for us? So I think
He
it kind
wants
of
to show his son a good time.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true, and they did, and the kid was kind of cool about it too. They didn't argue.
Well,
Um,
I think people die every year from selfies getting too close to an edge.
yeah, they go yeah, what in Buffalo? Like they just go to
Yeah.
Yosemite. Hey, look at this buffalo. I'm gonna go stand next to this gigantic, deadly monster that could kill me. But yeah, but also this movie has animal gags, but it also has boat gags. It has a go-kart gag where he gets hit in the face with a golf ball.
Yeah, that was
Um, I think when you're camping, everyone worries about having a like. Also, too, that's good manufactured drama. Everyone like if you get a bird in your house, you're like, what do I do now? And it's worse if it's a bat. So I think you just play with those common themes of like going out and camping and doing that. Nowadays, people are much better about bears and trash, but yeah.
one
So
of the things about this movie. We're switching gears. I got some of the highest praise for it from my wife, who's a tough customer. Her feedback on the movie was it wasn't bad.
Well,
We
considering
had a
she'd rather be reading a book, so it's like, yeah, it wasn't bad.
and I'm like that's high praise for a family movie night, just all hanging out together, watching something positive and nice.
Well, the good news is it's 90 minutes. It's not and there's so many different bits you can pop in and out of it. There's not much to follow. So yeah, yeah, it's not bad. It's good.
So we talked about your criticisms of it. I got two final questions for you. One is, what is your favorite part of the movie? And two, would you recommend it?
Yeah, I think so. I probably do like I don't know if all my students, if I'm sitting in class and I'm talking to my students, like guys, you gotta watch Great Outdoors. Like I don't
Not college students.
yeah, I wouldn't say that to them, but if there's someone my age who like lived during that era, I'm like, oh, you missed Great Outdoors. Like it's Annette Bening's first movie. There's some good bits with the bear getting shot in the butt. Like uh, I think I would recommend it to them.
This is a sweet spot for the recommendation. Depends on
Yeah,
the audience.
like when Mallory gets a little older, I'll watch it with her. So I think, yeah, I mean, I think that's what I would do. But I don't know if I could just Great Outdoors. Like I think it's just one of those movies people look back with fondness towards.
All right.
And it got Eric. Look at this lineup of 1980s comedies, 1988 comedies, because that's when The Great Outdoors came out. The Naked Gun, Twins, Bull Durham, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels,
Oof.
Heathers, A Fish Called Wanda. Like
Heathers.
Kevin
Wow.
Kline got an Oscar nomination. I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, which I love. Scrooged, Big. There were some pretty.
Some
Hey,
heavy
Cocktail. We
hitters.
also covered Cocktail, but there were some pretty like Ernest Saves Christmas. There were some fun comedies in 1988. Oh, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Coming to America. So I could see, this movie feels quite not archaic, but it feels quite old fashioned compared to what was coming out in '88. So it still did well, but I also think it did well because it fills such like a family friendly niche for most people. Like, Naked Gun, he's like, nice beaver. Thanks. I just got it stuffed. Like, there's none of that in there.
Yeah, there's no real innuendo. I did
No.
have to fast forward the part in the where John Candy was trying to charm up his wife
Or
while
the
the
knuckle
kids were at the
cracking.
lake. Yeah, I had to fast forward that when the kids are around. But other than that, very very family friendly movie.
Like compared to Captain Ron, in Captain Ron, they show some nudity in Captain Ron. So like this movie is tame in comparison, and they're actually kind of like a couple. If anything, it's just nice that they're a couple who likes each other. Like they're not.
Yeah,
uh
I love the attention to detail. In their cabin, they had a Leinenkugels light up sign.
oh yeah, I
Even though
saw
it's
that.
filmed in California, they still shipped in a Leinenkugels. That beer is a very Wisconsin beer. It's lighter, it's a little fruitier. It's good for hot days when you're out on the lake. But
They have a
that
good
was a good
shandy.
touch.
Yeah, they had a good shandy.
Yeah, summer shandy, and I couldn't resist. I saw the cabin owner shirt. I've been to Duluth, and I bought the shirt. I could not resist it. I'm like, I have to have that. I don't know what it was.
That shirt rules, man. I love that you got that. Yeah, Lightning Kugels. There's some. That's like their flagship now. Is the summer shandy. They're blowing up. Yeah, that shirt rule. I need to get the 96er shirt. I sent it to you.
Yeah. The last question I have before we wrap this up: what do you think of the ending? I thought the ending was brilliant when Dan Aykroyd says, "I'll race you home," and then
Wait,
John Candy's like, "What? What do you mean you race? What does he mean by that?" And then he puts two and two together that he's actually moving into his house. So all the drama they had at the lake is now going to follow him back to the house. I thought that was a smart way to end the movie. It was kind of fun and playful as well.
and I like that his wife set that up. Like she probably talked to her sister and was like, "Hey, come stay with us. Like I got you." And like I like that. I like that they didn't have to go to Candy about it. Race you home. Race you home. But also, this is a really short movie. If you think about the opening credits, they're about 4 minutes of them singing, and then the end is the dancing, and that's like if you break this movie down, it's probably 80 minutes or 70 something. I bet you they did those extra things just to stretch it out to
Hmm.
make it get into theaters. But yeah, no, I like the ending. I like it. We're gonna come stay with you. And
He
it's
was like, "What do you mean?" It's just a smart way. I thought it was a real smart way to end it.
yeah. And then the twins are gonna be, he's gonna have a better relationship with the twins. So no, but I like it. It's good. And it ends on a high note with the dancing and
The love story.
yeah, it's just a nice little movie. It's a
Yeah.
nice little movie.
Yeah, that was fun. I felt thanks for covering with me this episode. I had a lot of fun. There was a lot of nostalgia. My kids loved it, so it was a good pick.
It is really quite archaic because if you think about like the realism of the 70s, And then in the 90s, you had the indie kind of craze. You had the Camp Nowheres, or like you had kids movies where it's like these kids find a prostitute to like show, like to see her boobs, but then they want to marry her to the dad. Like the kids movies in the 90s were not really, or they were like adventure movies with kids and a panda or like this or that. And then the 2000s, I think you had the snark. You got like the snark of the Apatows and everything like that. There
Oh
weren't too
man,
many.
well they went hard on the late '90s, early 2000s teen movies.
Oh yeah, like those kind of movies. And then like I think this is really a product of the past. So it's kind of fun to watch something so earnest, I guess. I think that's why it's remained popular, because it's just an earnest little thing.
It made me want a vacation in the Midwest on a lake house.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of nice out there. They had a good time.
Yeah, I want to do that with my family.
Yeah. Just bond and then like just force things. And I'm not gonna rent a jet ski, so you're probably happy.
Oh,
If I,
the jet boat.
Imagine Megan and I rolling out there in a Beamer, and like we just have all Megan Mallory has like little we all have matching Ray Bans and like tracksuits, and like just make you eat old 96ers.
You won't let me cook hot dogs.
Yeah.
You put the lobster tails on the grill.
It's trying to introduce Mr. Thick D to the urinal cake.
That was a good line, man.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude. Well, thank you for joining me, man. And so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Erik Hoffmeyer, this movie Sons of Flicks. We'll see you next week.
Race you home.
What?